Realized the other day that in my examples, I did not include an example with group data, and it popped up frequently in the homework, and I really apologize for this. With group data, let's talk about what that means. So that means there's 13 values in this class, 7 values in this class, 10 values in this class. So somebody had gone through and counted all the values. Well, if I was being asked to find the mean, standard deviation, all of those things, let's think about how I would do it. I don't really want to use 0 to represent this class because that's too low. 9 is too high. What I really want to use as the value to represent this class would be the midpoint. So I'm going to make an extra column for the midpoint of each class. Now, the way to find the midpoint is we're going to be looking at these lower limits. From 0 to the next lower limit, the average of those is going to be the midpoint for the first class. So 0 to 10, the midpoint is a 5. 10 to 20, the midpoint is a 15. This would be a 25. 35, 45, and this would be a 55. And notice that we're adding by 10 each time, the same as we're adding by 10 between each class, because 10 is the class width. We're adding by 10 to get to each class. We'd be adding by 10 to get to each midpoint, and so forth. Now, if I was doing it by hand, I would take each midpoint times the frequency, because there's 13 fives, plus 15, I got 7 of those, plus dot, 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 dot. Now, I could also do this in the calculator. So I'm going to show you how to do this in the TI-84. I also just shared a video on how to do this in the new calculator, the NumWorks calculator, that you can get as an app on your phone, or you can get the simulator on your computer. And it's a very useful calculator. So I just recorded a video on how to enter those in as well. So if I press Stat and Edit, I'm going to go up to the L1 and press Clear to clear out the column. I would enter in my midpoints. In L2, I'm going to put my frequencies. Now, to do the one variable statistics, I'm going to press Stat again and go over to Calculate. The very first option is one variable statistics. Now this time I put in a frequency list. So in where it says frequency list, I need to put L2. And so L2 is in blue above the 2. So I'm going to press the blue button, which is the second button, 2, and press Calculate. And it gives me my mean, it gives me my standard deviation, and all of those good things. So it gives me my quartiles, everything I need. Now, if I were to use the other calculator, I'll go ahead and show this one. And I actually have a physical version of it, but the app works just the same. Let me go to the home screen. We would go to the statistics, just like on the TI-84, you go to Stat. I need to go to Data to enter in my data. And it has a column for the values and the frequencies. So I would type in my values. In this case, I'd type in my midpoints. And in the frequency column, I would type in my frequencies. If you didn't have frequencies, you would keep those as ones. Now I want to get to the stats feature, so I'd press the back arrow, which puts me at the top of the columns. I'm going to right arrow over to stats and press OK, and it gives me, let me zoom in, my minimum, maximum, mean, standard deviation, variance. It even calculates the variance, and it calculates your first quartile, which is your Q1, your Q3, your median, your IQR, and your sample standard deviation. So that's how you can work with group data with either calculator.